What's up, YouTube? This is your girl Megan from the Hood Astro Queen. Welcome back to my channel to all of my returning subscribers. However, if this is your first time joining me on today, welcome. As here we use information from celestial bodies to help us gain a better understanding of our favorite celebrities, world events, but most importantly, our damn selves. So, thumbs up this video, subscribe to become a part of the family. And if you are interested in booking your very own natal chart reading, feel free to contact me at astroworld, astrowerld at gmail.com. Now, I will say that I have limited slots available, very limited slots available. And this is because of just my workload increasing. I'm rearranging a lot of different things within my business, within life. So I will not be doing a lot of personal readings at this time. First come, first serve type vibes. All right. So I'll meet you in my inbox if that's something that you're interested in taking advantage of. Now, today I want to talk about Kim and Kanye. They've been in the news a lot lately, especially because of the fact that they are essentially divorcing. Now, per the most recent update, a judge allegedly granted Kim some sort of single status. I'm not really sure. Y'all feel free to parse through the legal jargon. I don't know if that's synonymous with being officially divorced, but this is the process that they're going through, right? Very public fallout, very public separation, and Kanye West is showing his ass. Okay, he was begging her back. Once that didn't work, he started dating other women, women who looked like her, and even making videos where he's simulating violence and aggression towards Kim's current boyfriend, Pete. Is it Robinson? Pete Davidson? Yeah, I know I don't really know these folks like that. But but it came across my desk, and I have been getting a lot of requests to do synastry readings for both Kim and Kanye for a very long time. So I wanted to put all of these things into more of an astrological context because this is what we do, and to kind of peel back some of the layers as it pertains to the relationship between Kim and Kanye and just certain dynamics of it. Okay, so boom. We have Kim Kardashian, who was born on October 21st, 1980, in Los Angeles, California at 10:46 a.m. And then Kanye, who was born in Atlanta, Georgia, June 8th, 1977 at 8:45 a.m. So, one thing that stood out to me in regards to Kim and Kanye's relationship, they have a very karmic relationship. And I know that's a word that is oftentimes overused, misused, and abused when we talk about esoteric spaces. But when I say karmic, I mean fated, things that were kind of like destined to come together to put these two individuals on their own paths, so to speak, right? They both kind of inadvertently helped one another and influence one another to kind of develop their soul's purpose, especially starting with the North Node synastry of it all. Now, in astrology, the lunar nodal placements are the most important parts of the chart. And even in synastry, I like to consider these things because, once again, it can speak to where, number one, if the relationship has any past life connections or what the relationship was designed to do in the grand scheme of things, right? Um, if we have a lot of South Node activity going on, we know that this is just a relationship that was uh, woven together by past life connections, but is low key doomed from the start, in a relationship that eventually the two people will outgrow or that will be severely dysfunctional until that unhealthy attachment is released, right? But when we talk about North Node synastry, we talk about, certain qualities within partners that can help foster and put another person on that path to what their soul is supposed to evolve towards in this lifetime. So I said that to say I thought it was very interesting that Kim's Libra Sun and Pluto are conjoined to Kanye's Libra North Node, and this would actually all take place in his fourth house. This not only points towards a karmic partnership, but this could be a soulmate union. it could be a positive influence in terms of Kim positively influencing Kanye, so to speak. But it's a slippery slope because with Pluto being such a dynamic planet, it could also go left, meaning this could also even be very much toxic, codependent, right? Now, on one hand, Kim did a great number in terms of teaching or at least influencing. Pluto deals with influence. Kanye to embrace more of that Libra North node, making him more of marriage material. Libra is the sign of marriage. So, quite literally, it deals with them being married. And with this happening in Kanye's fourth house, it's also destined for him to be a family man. So, Kim was the catalyst that brought that into fruition. Okay. Making him more domesticated, right? And her bringing out that side of him that's more level-headed, which is very contrary to that Aries South node of his, right? More empathic and considerate and conscientious of other people's needs. Kanye naturally is somebody who's very egotistical and selfish, hence that Aries South Node, and then having Venus in conjunction to Mars like that. So, even the women that he's with, they have to be extensions of himself, property, trophies. Um, and with his Venus in opposition to Uranus, I mean, once that is over, you know, uh, they essentially are devalued. And, it could also lead to messy breakups when we talk about Venus in opposition to Uranus, and he has Aquarius in the seventh house. So that's another thing. But that could also even signify relationships of convenience. Capricorn is there as well, transactional vibes. All of these vibes are very strong undercurrents in their relationship. But nonetheless, I do think for what it was worth, Kim kind of even was like more of the PR agent within the relationship. That's very Libra. So everybody knew that Kanye was quote unquote crazy, or we knew he had issues. We know he had problems. But while he was with Kim, right, and with this happening in his fourth house, once again, this could deal with him dealing with his spouse's family, being inducted into his spouse's family. And the Kardashians don't play that. Okay. Kim's Sun and Pluto are in her 10th house. So, and then she has Saturn and Libra conjoined to her midheaven. This is like a chart of somebody who is a well-oiled PR machine, and most people know that to be true of the Kardashians. So Kanye being on the opposition, going on the opposition, isn't really smart. It's not smart. It's not smart at all. Because they can take a lot of things and use those things against him, so to speak. Now, that conjunction between Kim's Sun, Pluto, and Kanye's Libra North Node could deal with her competing with other women, there being other women. But this is also a very major key in why Kanye feels like he has to hold on to the relationship, therefore prolonging the divorce. You see that a lot in these type of synastry components, right? His Libra North Node, her Sun, and Pluto. Pluto is one of those planets that binds people together, and it does have a regenerative effect, meaning the tendency to break up, to make up, people who divorce and get back together. I actually wouldn't be surprised if either they've broken up and gotten back together a lot of times before she just called it quits, or if there's a possibility of reconciliation at some point. And then finally, him just dragging his feet in terms of granting Kim the divorce is very Libra in nature. Okay. So I thought that was interesting. Um, Also, you know, legal battles in general, which is very Libra, are definitely part of the course here, especially with this being in Kanye's fourth house. So you could look at this as family court, a battle over, even one's estate. But also, when we start talking about that Pluto influence, now we're getting into the more insidious way that this whole situation has been playing out on a public stage, and with this happening in Kim's 10th house, once again, this playing out in the public stage in her life, him stalking her, right? That's very Pluto and Libra. Stalking your partner, somebody needing to put a restraining order out on you kind of vibes, control issues, power struggles, so on and so forth. And I feel like their relationship was one big, huge power struggle. Okay. Now, something else to consider, Kim's Neptune is in her first house of Sagittarius and it's opposing Kanye's Gemini sun. Now, this could deal with where if he's not careful, Kim could potentially take the children away from him, moving to like either the other side of the country with that Neptune and Sag. And this also directly mimics Kanye's Gemini sun opposing his natal Venus. So that is a very real threat. And I don't know if he's ever complained about that, but there is some truth to that where, those children can very well be taken away from him. And where it can be commonplace for Kanye to be gaslit. And one of the major issues with this too, especially with Kanye's Jupiter in opposition with, I want to say, Kim's ascendant. Let me double check. Uh-huh. Yeah. Um, he could be too much of a either truth teller or somebody who just runs his mouth too much. And that's something else that can also initiate the whole concept of, okay, well, you know, if that's how you're going to be, you want to expose people, you want to put the family on display, maybe him saying something, putting his foot in his mouth. It could be something that he tweets with his natal sun conjoined to that Jupiter in the 11th house that deals with social media, where he just gets on the internet, goes too far. Next thing you know, there go your kids. And it could also just be like court imposed. I could definitely see them in court over those type of things. Now, the gag is Kanye's Neptune is on Kim Kardashian's ascendant. And, this deals with her being his prototype, the apple of his eye, and her being the inspiration for a lot of his creativity. We all know Kanye loves a cute little muse, honey. And what it's called, muse. And that's also further enhanced with his Pisces moon. Okay. And actually they both have Pisces moons. And that's something that I also feel like could bind them together. Because, two Pisces moon individuals, especially with this occurring in Kanye's ninth house, could be very binding, very spiritual. You know what I mean? It can make you really devoted to a person, and all of that good stuff. But but it seems that Kanye is naturally enacting that Aries South Node. Once again, as an Aries South Node, you're not really conscientious of the needs of other people. And then he has his Venus conjoined to Chiron and Mars in that 10th house of Taurus. This also deals with a lot of those violent, because Taurus or Aries South nodes rather can be pretty violent and problematic. Him displaying those things via his music, and his creative. That's a part of his creativity process, and whatever the case may be. But he also has to be careful as well because his Saturn in the first, or excuse me, the second house of Leo is squaring his Uranus and Scorpio, so he could potentially be blackballed or find himself in a situation where he's isolating himself from people in the industry. And Kim she has the power to do that. Not to mention she's an Aquarius South Node. If I'm not mistaken, her South Node could very well be in Kanye's eighth house. So she has the pull to do these things. Social media is her domain. It's her come up. So if I were him, I would actually be very careful. She also has that Sun Pluto conjunction. That could be a Black Widow conjunction. Now, that could also signify the death of her father. And then on top of that, she does have her Leo North Node in the eighth house. That could produce the death of a father, husband. But it could also reinforce how, like she puts him on child support, she can get quite a bit. Not to say that she needs it, by any means. But once again, I do see some back and forth going about with these two in the future, as far as money, as far as custody definitely goes. And that also firmly aligns with her Chiron and her fifth house of children. So issues with custody over the children. And then this is, a byproduct of Kanye's Venus and Taurus opposing Uranus. And that Venus in conjunction to Chiron. So, I mean, listen, uh, she was actually good for him, but he ran her off. Okay, Kanye is a very special specimen, and to get into his natal chart separately is a whole different video for a different day. Because he definitely has issues, especially as a mutable sun and moon and having that square there. I mean, there are so many personality disorders that could arise from that. His sun is opposing Neptune. That could also be indicative of, I mean, even a raging narcissist, but above all, somebody with just issues. He has really big problems, and I think we can all ascertain that. Kanye's moon in the ninth house alongside Kim could even deal with her trying to, you know, institutionalize him at some point. I know y'all remember hearing about that in the news. And with her Venus in Virgo opposing his moon, a lot of that relationship, was predicated upon her maybe trying to save him, feel like she could save him, and it just didn't work. And now Kanye's reverting back to that Aries South node, and that can actually also be very self-destructive for obvious reasons, right? Self-destructive. So yeah, if I were him, I would be really careful. Okay. And yeah, so this concludes my video, my synastry reading for Kim, Kanye. Y'all let me know what you think. Drop down in the comment section. And of course, until the next video, I'll holla. Talk to you later. Bye.